Hi,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you so much for
Hello.
joining. I think everyone is just tuning in. I'm here with Mahajan, whom I work with for quite a bit of time now with a lot of joy. And the main topic for today is how to transform what you're already doing, your expertise, your skills, your stack, and every post that you're putting out there and every newsletter that you're putting out there into a book. Because I know that this is something that so many people actually want. So before I do that, hi Neera, thank you so much for joining us. Why don't
Hi.
you tell a bit the audience about yourself?
Oh, well, sure. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad so many of you are able to join us. I'm from Australia and it's almost dinner time here, and most people are busy with that. And most of the people in US are sleeping. So it is just us here and people from Europe, which is good to have
You
because
never know
yeah,
who is here actually.
yeah,
Who's
yeah,
blessed.
sometime. Yes. But I'm Neera Mahajan. I
Don't worry.
run a newsletter called Author Circle. I've been writing on Substack for 5 years now. And I came in contact with Anna when she started, actually. And since then, we have been working together. I was one of the earliest people to join her newsletter. And also, we have done a live before almost a year ago, Anna, which is very
It must
strange.
have been, yeah.
We haven't got around to it. So I'm very glad that we are doing it again. And
I'm so
today,
glad as well. I'm so glad as well. And for everyone here who's joining us, if you have questions, and I'm sure you will have, please put them
mm,
in the chat. Me and Nera will do our best to cover them. It can be about growth, it can be about publishing a book, which is really the topic of our conversation today. So don't be shy. Okay. Oh my God, 3 a.m. Thank you so much for joining. Okay. So Nera, what do you think? Why do so many people want to publish a book? And what's in it for it?
yeah, yeah, I think there is a very well quoted study in New Yorker that someone did a survey that resulted in that 81% of Americans want to write a book, but never get around to it because everyone thinks there's a story in them. And they want to share their story. They want to tell their story. It is everyone's desire, particularly when you get in your 40s and you have a life which you have lived, the struggles you have gone through, the success you have seen, all those things. You want to document them and put them together, first of all, for yourself, and then for the others around you. When I started writing my first book, which was my memoir, which didn't happen after so many published book, I kept sitting on it. But telling our story is a primary need we feel. And that's the reason people want to write. Another reason for that is very few percent of people get to write a book.
Mm.
Even with the computers and so easy to type and so easy to publish on self-publish on Amazon and all that, book is something which still 0.1% of the people are able to do. So book is something which is the ultimate goal of many people.
And how do you think that changed their lives? So I'm just trying to ask the questions that I know most of the people will would ask here.
Yes.
How does, having a book changing your life?
First of all, what a book does, it changes the perception of other people of you. For all of a sudden, they start seeing you as an authority on that topic on which you have written
Hmm.
book. And do you know that word authority has derived from the word author?
Okay, I didn't know that. That's such an interesting thing.
Yes. So being an
So it's
author
coined by
gives you,
having a book.
yeah, being an author gives you the authority which probably nothing else gives you that kind of authority. And it's the easiest and the fastest way of developing an authority, perceived authority in a field. But perceived is more important than having an authority. You could be very knowledgeable in a topic and know everything about it. But
Okay.
if other people don't see you like that, it doesn't matter. So
Yeah,
you could write
that's true as well.
400, yeah, you could write 400 blog posts and know everything about your topic. But if you haven't got a book, you are not as powerful as a person who has written a book and written a 400 posts. So that's the difference.
Now I need to add this on my to-do list. I'm just curious how many people in here have actually published a book versus who wants to publish one. So if you can put that in in the chat, I'm super curious. I think
Mm,
for myself, I have always romanticized this idea, to be honest, and thought it's a fantastic idea. But I can tell you that also publishing in the media has the same effect. Of course, not probably as much as having your own book.
mhm,
So I'm really curious about who is publishing and what, but in
mm,
very simple terms, without revealing it all, because there also has a workshop that I will invite her to talk about later on. What are the simple steps that somebody needs to do in order to get closer to this dream and having it published?
Good
Starting
question.
from Substack as well.
Yes, starting from Substack. If you have already written a number of posts and have been writing long form for a while, I think the first thing you need to do is theme or an idea. What do you want your book about? I'm 100% sure that you have written about different things over the time, and you got to find which one you want to turn it into a book. Find that thing and then collect all the posts or material related to that thing.
Hmm.
Once you have that, then you know what your topic is. Before that, sometimes, or actually always, I tell my students to look for your audience. Who is the book for?
Yeah,
And then you select the topic based on what their problem is. What are they struggling with? And your book is answer to that. So you find your audience, you find your topic, you find the related post to that. Now you have something to work with. What you do next is you go and look for stories. Writing, first of all, you won't be writing posts without any stories related in that. Your own story of stories you have used previously to illustrate your point, story of people around you, stories of your clients, stories which emerge in the comments, in the podcasts or lives you have done, the questions which has been asked to you and how you have responded to them, that can be turned into stories. Without stories, a book is nothing. Even a nonfiction, you got to have stories in there. My secret sauce is I always start my books with a story, preferably my own story. And I always start a chapter with a story as well. That is what draws people in, and that is what delivers the message. Basically, you find audience, you find your topic, you find related posts, then you find stories, and then you have the case studies and material around it, and you have plenty of material to write a book.
that's wonderful. It sounds easy. It sounds easy, actually.
It
Is it
sounds
that
easy.
easy?
It's that easy. Yes. Yeah, technicalities and how to approach writing and how to
Yeah.
do long form writing. Many people start writing book, but most of them doesn't get around to finishing it because it's a writing a post is a easy job. It's 1,000 word, 1,500 word, even 2,000 words. 50,000, 50,000 words book is hard. You are all of a sudden containing a lot of material, and each one need to make sense. It needs to speak to the reader. It needs to make the point, and it needs to entertain as well as educate. So
Obviously.
there's a
And I
lot
think this
to.
is the key, right? Because
Mhm.
you make it sound so easy because of your expertise in here and the number of books you have already published. But we all know that what sounds so easy actually takes a bit of practice. And I think it's the same when making an offer and monetizing, which is my favorite topic as well. It's simpler than you think, but it is requiring that number of hours to put in to practice it and make it perfect. I believe, and guys in the audience, please correct me here or add other questions if you have it. But the trick is how to pick the right topic to publish. Because as you say, there are so many articles that we can choose from and our own thoughts. And now with AI, everyone can make a good agenda plan and write those number of words in, shorter or longer. Let's be honest about it. But how do you pick up the right topic? And what does the right topic even mean?
My current program is about writing a book on which you can build a business. I help my students first to figure out what do they want to build their business on, and then write a book based on that. Looking for the right topic, they're looking for the audience they want to serve.
Right.
So once you figured that out, who are the audience I want to serve and what problem of theirs I want to solve,
Mhm.
then you have no problem in picking the right topic and no problem building your business on it. I have many exercises. For first week, we spend totally on figuring out these questions and figuring out their business and then figuring out the right topic for that business. And then we build the book on it. So that's the
Okay.
second part of the program.
Okay.
Basic.
That really sounds good. Again, if there are some questions, happy to take them. Let me browse a bit. I've written some cookbooks and self-published ones. Self-publishing is a real challenge. Nina, somebody, Thomas, 4 books. Oh my God. Have published even Lover's Drone. Nice. Well done, guys. Okay, I'm checking if there are any questions in even Lover's Drone. The lover is not actually drone,
Mhm.
just spoiler alert. That's
So
nice,
that's
Annika.
yeah. I
So,
wonder if it is a fiction or if it is a non-fiction book. Even
so if
Lovers
you want
Drown.
some tips, get to Neera here for how to take that further. What are the big challenges that self-publishing authors face? And maybe you can share some tips of how to go through those. You don't have to cover 10 of them, but I don't know, maybe the 3 ones that come and pop your mind.
If you are self-publishing for the first time, there are lots of questions in people's mind. And that's why I spend almost a week or almost 2 weeks explaining all that. Because
Hmm.
self-publishing might sound easy that and it might sound it takes few clicks, but in
Yeah,
fact there is lot of things you need to be aware of before you put your book on Amazon or any other platform.
especially those technical details on KDP. It's so
Yeah.
annoying.
Yes,
Oh,
you need to know the which category you're going to put it on. You need to know whether you're going to put it on Kindle Unlimited or on in the mass distribution, which market you need to address,
mm,
and what should be the price of the book, how the
yeah.
hardcover, paperback, and the ebook, and how to format it. There's so many technical things you need to figure out.
Okay.
But I think the most important thing which I actually want to raise over here is you need to write your book first. And you need to do that as quickly as possible. And that's why my program is only for 30 days. You write your first draft of your book in 30 days. And the reason for that is it comes from my own struggle with finishing books earlier than when I published my first one. I started with a novel, and that
Hmm.
novel is still not done. And the reason it's still not done is that I was going in and out of that book. So I'll work for a
Hmm.
few hours in a weekend and then leave it and then come back after 2, 3 weeks. And then I've forgotten what I've done, where I wanted to take the story. And then I try to do a little bit. So I have to get back into the book again and then I'm out of it. So I'm getting
So
calling it in and
yeah, so the
yeah,
procrastination is probably the next one,
yes. And then
or
you
rather
also not.
perfectioning it.
Yeah, also lack of skill also is another one. May not have the skill to develop it to a certain level. My first book I wrote in 7 days because I
Hmm.
gave myself ultimatum that I'm going to write this book and I'm going to publish it in 7 days.
Hmm.
And the benefit of that was it was done with one focused energy and it was published.
Hmm.
After publishing it, I hired the cover designer and I hired the editor and all that. I did it afterward because it was an experiment for me. And
Yeah.
that book still is my best selling book out of all of them that
That's
sells the
what I
most.
wanted to ask you. So, just in
Mm,
7 days, for some people, it might sound like you just wrote something there, but did it have
correct.
success?
No, this is the book which I wrote in
Okay.
7 days. And surprise, surprise, the title is How to Write and Publish a Book in 1 Week.
That's
and
amazing. That's
and that
amazing.
yeah, and it sells about 10 to 20 copies a month.
Pretty much blows all my questions about, oh my God, I'm thinking about this book for a year and I'm writing a little chapter every day. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that there are not people who really want to take their time and write the book that, especially if it's not nonfiction. So if it's a fiction, if it's literary fiction, then people might want to spend their time to actually develop the characters, the character story and everything. And that might take a bit longer than seven
Correct.
days. But if you already have the expertise and is there, picking up the right subject and putting it together, then it definitely can be doable in 7 days. Fantastic. So I'm just going to go through another question. I think these are all interesting here. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there are people who self-publishing is one way, and of course, then is how you make that get sold as well, the big question.
Hmm.
What about those people who are looking for an agent or who want to get published for a publishing house? Do you also
Yes.
cover that? Like, how do they find them? How do they get support of an agent? And yeah, where to look?
Look, that is not my expertise because I have not gone that path. But I do give people a bit of information about various paths available to them. So, traditional publishing is one of them, and which means that you got to find an agent and you got to find the publishing house, which publishing house is active in that genre and who are looking for books in that genre,
Yeah,
and go through their process of applying and getting picked up. There is another path which is self publishing, but publishing with a boutique agency, or and they're called hybrid publishers. They do all the publishing work for you, so you don't have to do the all that uploading on KDP and all that stuff. They
mm-hmm.
don't do that. They might look at putting it on different platforms so that your book is available on let's say on the airport and other bookshelves. There are many agencies, they specialize in little things. So these
Right,
hybrid publishers take care of those things, but they charge a lot.
right.
Depends on how much you want to spend to bring your book out. Advice has been to the people who work with me is publish your book first, see
Mm-hmm.
how it goes in the market, and work with your own audience, your newsletter audience and others, and see how the feedback is. And then after that, you can go on that route. You can go
Right,
with the hybrid publisher after that, if there is a
right,
potential in the book. Don't try to
right.
do it right in the beginning so that you spend so much money and your book doesn't bring the result you're looking for.
Mm. That's amazing. And I was curious about this question as well because I know you're self-publishing and being so successful and your students as well. And it's the easiest one, right? Because you control everything. Of course, you need
Uh,
to also learn a few things,
mm,
like not only how to write your book, but also how to set it up, how to set the technicalities, but afterwards as well, how to present it, how to use
mm,
the right keywords, I would assume.
yes.
I don't have a book published, so I'm just guessing here. But the fact that you are addressing to the people on Substack has such a huge potential because half of the advertising is already done. So you don't need to place ads on Amazon, I would expect, because the key is to use your Substack audience, just like you're
Hmm.
launching your coaching lessons. And that's the huge potential here that you already have an audience to market it to. All you need to do is put it in place, write it the right way, the
Hmm.
right subject, then get it done so that you can also test it and use your Substack audience to do that test and to help them in a more eloquent way by having that book published. Am I right in my assumption?
Yes, yes. And that should be your starting point. And even if you go the traditional publishing route, and there are many writers on Substack who are traditionally published, and they will tell you that their traditional publisher told them to build an audience, to go and create a newsletter and build an audience in different platforms. And they are spending about 60 to 70% of their time building that audience. And if you are writing on Substack, you have already started on that path. And pretty sure many of you have got thousands of people subscribing to you. And when you are writing a book, take your audience through the journey with you. My next book is coming soon in March, and it is titled One Book to 100K. And that book, from the day I had envisioned it and started writing that draft, I have been talking about it. I have it on pre-order, as well as I will have it. I'll do a lot of talking about it. I will demonstrate the book. I'll read out of him. I might launch it on Substack itself. So
Nice.
all that hype is going to bring the initial sale which is needed to take a book to a bestseller. And once
Great.
you have established that channel, then you have something which is going to stay hopefully on the bestseller list for a while. And
That's
you
right.
do that by advertising, advertising. I spend about an hour every day on advertising, watching what is selling, what's not selling, which keywords are working, which are not working. So
That's such an
outside,
important research. And that's what you're covering as well, Nara, because advertising
mm,
is something that intimidates many people, and not only from a
mm,
dollar's perspective, but actually how to set it right. Because I don't think anyone minds spending some money if they get results. But the
mm.
problem is spending money getting any results. So are you also covering how to do advertising right on Amazon so that you really get results?
Yeah, I'm doing things one thing at a time. The first goal is write your book in 30 days. That's the first goal. Second is put it out there, publish it. So between writing your first draft and publishing, there is a lot of things need to happen. There is
Hmm.
editing, there is getting the cover made, there is finding the right categories, and there's a lot needs to happen.
Yeah,
Once that happens, book goes up there, then there is a launch strategy. What is the best way to launch your particular book, depending upon your audience size and what you're trying to gain out of it. And most importantly, what I'm covering in my course is how to turn your book into a business.
right.
Because the real money is in turning that book into, there are 7 streams of income you can learn from a book.
Hmm.
And the idea is that pick 2 or 3 of those, use that as your business, as building a business. And after all that is done, royalty is only a fraction what you can earn. And
Got it. Got it. So you're not only showing people how to write the book itself and gain that authority. I'm trying to just summarize a bit here to tune
mm,
my mind on what I'm learning as well. The first benefit is how to write the right book in such a way that you gain the right authority, you're recognized for it, and yeah, maybe you feed your ego a bit on it as well, and you have it published there, and it's your work and it's your brain into one very concrete thing that people can get access to, but you're
mm.
also showing them how to use the same book in order to create a business. So the outcome is, from a financial maybe perspective, is not just the book, but what generates that book as opportunities, and that's what you're showing.
Yes, correct, correct.
Okay. That
um
that sounds fantastic. How
mm.
do you determine the price of your book? I think we have a very specific question I would like the answer to as well.
Yeah, yes. Amazon has dictated those prices decades ago when they started book
Hmm.
publishing, and they haven't changed it yet. And,
Mm.
and the cheeky way they have done it, that if you want to earn 70% of the royalties, you got to put your book between 299 and 999. The ebook. particularly ebook. Most of the people put their books in between 299 and 999 ebooks. Paperback and the others, you can put any back, you can put any price. But there is, of course, there is a printing cost and other costs as well. My books are available at 799.
For
Yeah,
that reason.
for that reason. Yes.
Okay. Now that's a neat insight, actually, cheeky insight, as you call it as well. Okay, maybe last minutes for some final questions from anyone here in the audience. Please put them in the chat. Neera, why should someone join your workshop?
Mhm.
Where do they find it? And what?
I am currently am running a cohort. It's a 30-day cohort. It's got 5 weekly live sessions with me in which I go through the various aspects, and then they have to write to their book during those 30 days, and I guide them through the process. That cohort is going to finish in mid-February. The next one is start 5th of March, and I'm
Mhm.
taking applications for that. I only have 10 spots in each cohort so that I can work with the writers one on one, help them determine what book they need to write, what are their issues, and what business they should be building. So, all these things can only happen if I have a small contained group. I have 3 spots already gone, so only 7 spots left for the March
Oh
cohort.
my God. So
Yeah,
hurry up. That's
yeah,
amazing. I would want to be in as well. I'm surprised you
sure,
even have those seven available.
sure. Because I've
And
just
where
started,
and where do
and
they find it?
so you can DM me or you can subscribe to Author Circle, and you will find the details in my post because I keep on talking about those cohort. And also there is a landing page, onebook200k.com, and you can
Okay.
go over there
But I
and have
guess if people just go on your profile and message you or they check your
message me,
profile, they will
please.
be able to see it right there.
Yeah. Another thing I might
Okay.
want to mention that I have got 60% off at the moment. This cohort is 999 and I have got it available for 399. So if you want to
That's
take
amazing.
advantage of this price drop, please do.
That's amazing. Okay, so growers, is there a time limit to the offer, Nira, or until when can I grab the 60% off?
As soon as it's filled, it's gone. Then you have to
Okay,
wait
got
for the
it.
next one. Then you have to
Got it,
wait for
which
the next
probably
one.
will be in April, and I'm sure there's
Uh,
a different
I,
price as well.
there's none in April
Okay.
and maybe in May, but I'm not
Maybe.
100%. So I'm just going slowly as I can handle the workload because it's a lot of work for me as well.
Okay, yeah. So talk
Mm.
about taking actions. Growers, go ahead and check it. 60%, that's super generous. I know Nera for a while. I know her results, so I can bet on it that that is going to be good. Check it out and message her for any questions. Nera, I thank you. I think the dream is amazing, and the fact that you are helping so many people publish their books and make that dream a reality is even better. I'm sure we'll talk again because this is something so many people really want to put in reality. Having a Substack, it's already a huge step forward. Having the right support like Nera is offering here is definitely going to take people miles ahead. But just start. I think that's the message right here. Just start. It's not as complicated as you believe it is. You
Mhm.
find support and you can find a mentor and support in people like Nera here, and just use what you have. There is nothing else but starting there, and you can have it a reality. And the best part, and that's my takeaway, is that it's not only the publishing of a book itself, but what it generates from there and the opportunities that it opens from there
Mhm.
that you can also consider. So not only that title on the shelf, which is a huge realization in
Yeah.
itself.
Yes.
Okay, so I said it before, I'm gonna say it again. Being on Substack truly can change your life. It definitely changed mine. I thank you,
Mm.
Nera, and I thank you guys for joining. 148
Yes.
still stayed, even if it's odd
Yes.
hours for
That's amazing.
everyone.
Oh, 149. And I think if you stay for another minute, it's going to go to 150. That's great.
So,
That's the highest attendance I had. I'm not sure
and
about
it's
the
an odd timing actually, because
it's really
many people
odd
are
timing.
either asleep or at evening at this time. So thank you so much for joining, guys.
Sure.
And to you, Nera, for sharing all of this with us. And
You,
yeah,
you
keep
are
on
welcome. And
messaging if there are other questions. keep on messaging both of us if they have any.
And also, we will publish this on our Substack, so you can go back and listen to it. And those who missed out in the US and other places, they can listen to the recording.
All right. Cheers. Take